Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video we are going to study about penicillin. Penicillin, which is a beta-lactam antibiotic. So an introduction to penicillin. Penicillin is a beta-lactam antibiotic. It is called so because it has a beta-lactam chain in it, and it is one of the first antibiotics which was accidentally discovered by Alexander Fleming. So starting with the mechanism of action of penicillin. See, penicillin penicillin is an antibiotic which works on the bacterial cell wall. So first of all, you have to know how does the bacteria, what actually forms a bacterial cell wall. So this is a particular peptidoglycan layer I have drawn. This is a particular molecule. You can see that the peptidoglycan layer is actually composed of two amino sugars which are known as N-acetylmuramic acid and N-acetylglycine. To N-acetylmuramic acid, there is a 5 amino acid attached to it which is known as pentapeptide, as I have written here. And to the third amino acid, there is a pentaglycine chain is also attached. And the fourth and the fifth amino acid are D-alanine and D-alanine. Similar molecule is present here also. So what actually makes this peptidoglycan layer is a very important bond, and this bond extends from here to here like this. It extends from the fifth glycine to the fourth amino acid of the next bond, and similarly over here also. So this particular bond is actually made by an enzyme known as transpeptidase, and this particular enzyme is actually the target of beta-lactam antibiotics or penicillin. This particular enzyme is the target of beta-lactam antibiotics. So it is very important enzyme that you have to know. The other name of transpeptidase enzyme is penicillin binding protein. Now the reason that the other name of the transpeptidase is penicillin binding protein, because actually these beta lactams or the penicillin actually sits on these transpeptidase enzymes to inhibit those enzymes. So they are known as penicillin binding proteins or PBP. So now that we know what is the mechanism of penicillin, so we can read it over here. Penicillin produces bactericidal effect by inhibiting cell wall synthesis. Now the most important thing over here is bactericidal effect. It kills the bacteria. But how does it kill? It kills because cell wall is less stable. Now actually what it happens, that this transpeptidase bond is actually very important to make the cell wall rigid and stable. And since beta-lactam antibiotics are not allowing to make this transpeptidase bonds, so cell wall are less stable and hence undergo lysis, so it has a bactericidal effect. Transpeptidase penicillin binding protein cause cross-linking on the pentaglycine with pentapeptide. We have also seen this, and penicillin inhibits this transpeptidase bond. Now another very important thing is written over here. We all know that gram-positive organisms have a thick cell wall, thick peptidoglycan layer, and that is made up of almost 50 to 100 layers thick. And gram-negative on the other hand is all made up of only 1 to 2 layer of peptidoglycan layer. And so hence, because beta-lactam antibiotics work on these peptidoglycan layer, hence gram-positive organisms are more susceptible to penicillin because it has more receptors for more transpeptidase and bonds for allowing to penicillin it to break, whereas gram negative have only 1 to 2 layers, so they are less susceptible to penicillin. Now coming to the next part, mechanism of resistance. We all know that penicillin is actually a beta lactam. So what actually the organism do is that the organism produces a beta lactamase. Now you can decipher from the word that beta lactamase means something that breaks the beta lactam ring. And what is beta lactam ring? Of course the penicillin. So production of beta lactamase is a very important point that you have to know, is a cause of resistance to penicillin. Then other reasons that are less important is altered penicillin binding protein and decreased ability of the drug to entry. This is the most important point, production of beta lactamases. Now coming to the pharmacokinetics, see, penicillin G is actually acid labile, hence given IV. IM route is painful and it is widely distributed among the whole body. This is the most important point over here, and since it is widely distributed, you all know, then of course it will also cross the blood-brain barrier and will also reach the CNS, and it is excreted by active tubular secretion. You have to remember this. Now coming to the important parts of this video, penicillin G and V. Penicillin G, the route of penicillin G is IV or IM, and penicillin V, it is orally. Mechanism of action is same as penicillin as given above. What are the uses of penicillin G and penicillin V? Among gram-positive organism, Staphylococcus aureus, Streptococcus pyogenes, Streptococcus pneumoniae and Actinomyces are the organisms where it works. Among gram-negative organism, Neisseria meningitidis, and among spirochetes, Treponema pallidum. If you are asked what are the most important among all these lists is Actinomycetes and Treponema pallidum. These two you have to remember at any cost. Now, what are the adverse effects of penicillin G? The adverse effects are skin rashes, urticaria, fever, dermatitis, bronchospasm, anaphylactic shock, and hemolytic anemia. Anaphylactic shock and hemolytic anemia, Coombs positive hemolytic anemia, are the most important adverse effects of penicillin G and penicillin V. So sometimes you are asked what is the treatment of anaphylactic shock due to penicillin G and penicillin V. First of all, injection adrenaline 1:1000 ratio intramuscularly. Second, injection hydrocortisone, you have to give it IV. And lastly, injection diphenhydramine. This you have to give IV or IM. So this is the management of anaphylactic shock, these three very importantly. Now, one very important thing that I should tell you, that the longest acting penicillin is actually benzathine penicillin G. This is a point you have to remember. The longest acting penicillin is actually benzathine penicillin G. Now coming to penicillinase sensitive penicillin. The penicillinase sensitive penicillin includes amoxicillin and ampicillin. We all know the mechanism of action is same as that of penicillin we have read earlier, but most importantly, what does this mean, penicillinase sensitive? Penicillinase is nothing but beta lactamases which breaks down penicillin, and of course sensitive means it is sensitive to it, means that amoxicillin and ampicillin are actually broken down by beta lactamases. That's why we have to combine it with beta lactamases inhibitors. So what are the beta lactamases inhibitors? The beta lactamases inhibitors, you can remember it by the mnemonic CAST, C-A-S-T. What does C stands for? Clavulanic acid. What does A stands for? Avibactam. What does S stand for? Sulbactam. And T stands for Tazobactam. CAST, C-A-S-T, clavulanic acid, avibactam, sulbactam and tazobactam. And what are the uses of penicillinase sensitive penicillin or amoxicillin ampicillin? These are very important and very easy. You can remember it by the mnemonic HELPS. H stands for H. pylori. Another H stands for Haemophilus influenza. E stands for E. coli. L stands for Listeria monocytogenes. P stands for Proteus mirabilis. It is very important that P stands for Proteus mirabilis and not Pseudomonas. You have to remember this, not Pseudomonas. S stands for Salmonella and another S stands for Shigella. So this is helps. H. pylori, H. influenza, E. coli, Listeria monocytogenes, Proteus mirabilis, not Pseudomonas, very importantly, and Salmonella and Shigella. These are the organisms which are actually effective in case of amoxicillin and ampicillin, and it is combined, very importantly you have to remember these are penicillinase sensitive, so we have to combine it with beta lactamases inhibitors which are CAST, C-A-S-T. And what are the adverse effects? Rash and pseudomembranous colitis. Among these you have to remember the uses, all, beta lactamase inhibitors, all, and in adverse effect you have to remember pseudomembranous colitis is actually caused by amoxicillin and ampicillin. This is important among these. Now coming to the next part, penicillinase resistant penicillin. The penicillin resistant penicillin are dicloxacillin, nafcillin and oxacillin. As you can see, the names are written over here. What does penicillinase resistant penicillin means? This means that these penicillins, these three, D, N and O, are actually not broken down by penicillinase, that is beta lactamase, and hence it is not broken down by beta lactamase. Hence we do not have to give a beta lactamase inhibitors along with them. But we all know that anything has an advantage and a disadvantage. So this is an advantage of these three, D, N and O, but there is a disadvantage also, that it is a narrow spectrum antibiotic. It is a narrow spectrum antibiotic, and the main advantage that we all know that it is penicillinase resistant is actually because of a bulky R group. This is another thing which you have to know. What is the use? Of course, we all know that it is a narrow spectrum, so the use is limited. Staphylococcus aureus, moreover, except MRSA. You have to remember this. And adverse effects are hypersensitive reaction and interstitial nephritis. Now coming to another class, anti-pseudomonal penicillins. Anti-pseudomonal penicillins, as we can already understand, that these penicillins actually work against pseudomonas organisms. So of course the use of anti-pseudomonal penicillin will be actually pseudomonas species, and of course gram-negative rods also. So what are the drugs that come under anti-pseudomonal penicillins? These are piperacillin and ticarcillin. You have to remember these names. Mechanism of action, of course, same as penicillin, because these are also penicillin. It is an extended spectrum antibiotic, you have to remember this, and it is a penicillinase sensitive penicillin. Hence it is combined with beta lactamase inhibitors, which is very important. And we all know what are the 4 beta lactamase inhibitors. These are CAST. C stands for again clavulanic acid, A stands for avibactam, S stands for sulbactam, and T stands for tazobactam. These 4 are the beta lactamase inhibitors. You have to remember this. CAST. What is the adverse reaction? Hypersensitive reaction? Not important. Now lastly, coming to beta lactamase inhibitors. These are beta lactamase inhibitors, again we all know. But one thing you have to remember more about beta lactamase inhibitor is about clavulanic acid. Clavulanic acid is actually a competitive, irreversible and a suicidal inhibitor. Now it is a competitive inhibitor, we all know what is it. Irreversible means we all know, but what it means by suicidal inhibitor? It means that when clavulanic acid actually bind to beta lactamases, it actually inhibits the beta lactamase and also inhibits itself also. That's why it is called a suicide inhibitor. That's
Now lastly, coming to a very important point, that is Zarisch-Hexamer reaction. This is one of the favorite points and the most asked points in examinations like NEET PG and USMLE type examinations. So what is Zarisch-Hexamer reaction? We all know that penicillin is actually given in syphilis patient. We have already read that in penicillin G and penicillin V, that syphilis patients are given penicillin. So what will happen when a syphilis patient is given penicillin is that penicillin will inhibit the transpeptidase bond, and when it will inhibit the transpeptidase bond, it will actually make the cell wall less rigid and stable, which will further destroy the cell wall of the Treponema pallidum, and due to the destruction of the cell, the endotoxins will actually release out, and because the endotoxins will release out, it will increase the sign and symptoms of syphilis and will cause fever, chill, myalgia, hypotension and circulatory shock. Similarly, because this particular thing feels like that when we are giving a syphilis patient penicillin, it should actually make the situation of the patient better, but paradoxically it is making even worse. But when you know the reason, this actually makes sense, that actually cell wall is being broken, with the bacterial particles come out, release of endotoxin, and because of this, these particular fever, chill, myalgia, hypertension and circulatory shock being the most important one because it can cause death, are the symptoms of syphilis after giving penicillin. This is known as Zarisch-Hexamer reaction. So sometimes you are also asked, apart from this, what is the treatment of Zarisch-Hexamer reaction? These are aspirin and corticosteroids. Why corticosteroids? Corticosteroids are of course immunosuppressant, and this particular Zarisch-Hexamer reaction is happening due to because of our body is mounting an immune response to the endotoxin release. So of course we can lower down our immune system and get rid of this Zarisch-Hexamer reaction. And aspirin being an NSAID, it will cure the fever, chill, myalgia, etc. So that's it, guys. If you liked our video, then please subscribe to my channel and please give a like. Thank you.